with the second half of the programme, and we will start with the Porsche Speed Championship competitive runs.
I'd already planned anyway. Well, Wilco's journey is about nearly an hour longer than mine. Yeah. You've got to go through Liverpool. Yeah, I'll go through Birmingham, but I can use the M6 toll if necessary. Yeah, so it only ever takes me the worst. Might be a bit difficult tonight because of the cost of their shop. How far are we from Chelsea? Okay, not too much. I think it's about 40 miles south east. And it was my friend Lucy Hart lives at Beach, which is the other side of the valley. Chelsea King, Chelsea Beach, and Chelsea Ports and the river thing. She lives over there and she said, because she works in Chelsea, she said, you should down about an hour and a half ago. I don't know whether we can stop. But in fact, what I'll do, I've got my phone runs out of battery here before we can put the signal. See you later. See you later, Roy. Right, we have a car on the hill, and we're in amongst our Porsches, and it is Ian Crystal. He seemed to have a little bit of a moment in his final practice earlier on today. Well, good luck to him this afternoon. Here he comes, number 719, going past us. Hopefully be joined in a few minutes when he gets up to the top of the hill by Jeff Robinson, going to help out by observing for us at the top and saying a few words very kindly.
Good afternoon, Eddie.
Oh, great. How are you?
Yes, I'm fine, He's just come into view.
Good.
Nice Porsche box, and he's just making his way round museum, going nice and steadily, on the same line. And he's now heading towards the finish line, and he's over there right now. Time 67.63.
Well, that sets the mark, doesn't it?
Yep.
And well, we hope we're praying to keep the rain off this afternoon. Let's hope we can. And that's Chris Wigmore with you. I've just seen Nick Wadsworth and David Hilton has left the start line as well. So one after the other, very quickly.
7.23, just going over the line now.
Yeah.
That's the Porsche gain. The time of 6.86.
Yeah, got that one, that's great, thank you. And the next one will be Nick Wadsworth, that was Chris Wigmore who got that 64.86. And then David Hilton will be next, number 34. And this is a short batch. David Hilton he swapped positions with his co-driver. So that's a short batch of 4 cars. They'll return to the bottom of the hill. And then we'll get underway with the balance of the first set of class runs, competitive class runs for the Porsche Speed Championship. So in case you didn't know, this morning Robert Kenrick won our first Midland Runoff. And Dave Warburton was second. Zach Zammit was third. Matt Ryder was fourth, and we'll go through the rest a little bit later on.
Right, the cars are on their way back down towards you now, Eddie.
Great stuff, thanks Jeff.
Short 4-car batch.
Yep. So I'm just transferring the results from earlier to the qualification sheet that Midland Championship Coordinator Bill Pardo gave me. There we go, done that. Right. So we'll be underway with, we've got...
Yeah. Had a bit of a scout around the hill this morning, did the bottom. Didn't get this far up. It's rather lovely up here. It's the RAF Cosford Air Show today, so they've got quite a nice day for that at present.
What was that went over? Could you tell what it was?
Pardon?
Something noisy went over with a radial engine, but I couldn't see it.
I've seen very few planes today, considering that that's on.
Actually, consider you're almost a mile away, of course, so you may not have seen them. It's a Typhoon, there we go. So that'll be one with a propeller on, rather than a jet, I think, which probably is a Napier whatever engine, never mind. A friend of mine will be telling me how sad I am that I know the name of it. Right, we've got on the start line number 15. This start line camera is a bit of a boon, actually. I'm really pleased that we've got a proper one in place after a couple of years of having a fairly unreliable one. It's pretty good, this.
So we've got Barry Powell on the start line, yeah?
Yeah, he's away. He's actually left the start. Did a 2.77, which is all right for a road car that's not had much modification. So I'd be happy. And by the way, Jeff, did you realise that the John Bradburn in this class is the John Bradburn? The one that used to compete in the British Championship for many years and qualified for 8 years and had a number 8 number for a couple of years as well. So, but I can tell you he's taking it easy because he's driving that car to Le Mans for this weekend.
He had a big single-seater, didn't he?
Yeah, it had the Gould JR55 with that big HB in it. Fabulous thing. And a shame he never won around. Right, Barry Powell coming towards you. We should see Howard Cressy. Yes, here he comes around Fletcher's.
Yeah, I've got him. He's just emerged from the trees. Bright white car.
Yep.
Number 15, round he goes. Taking it nice and steadily. Round Museum. A few spots of rain just starting to fall up here, and he's just gone over the finish line, and his time is 71.43.
And that is Barry Powell, 71.43. Yeah, I can hear the drips now already. Oh dear. Never mind. What can we do?
We're British, Eddie.
We're British and we put up with it, don't we? Yeah. Now, this Porsche down here, this Boxster with the hard top, is number 17. That's Andrew Soper. You should have Howard Cressy up with you.
Howard Cressy just crossed the finish line and he's 69.88.
69.88. And Andrew Soper going towards you. Here's John Bradburn now. Got the wipers on.
I've got Andrew Soper with me at the moment from Worcester Park, Porsche Boxster, 3,200cc. There he goes, through the tyres a little bit, and heading up towards the finish line. And over he goes with a time of 6.708.
Got that one. And of course Worcester Park is John Major territory, isn't it, as I recall?
Yep.
And in Surrey.
And here comes Bradders. Must go and say hello to him afterwards. I haven't seen him for a couple of years. Here he goes, number 18. Yeah, wipers on. Accelerating away, heading well. And heads to the line. And his time is 6.119.
No, he's not forgotten his way to the top of the hill anyway. Check. Now next one down the slope towards us, this is Ross McDonald in the orange 911. He's car number 20 and number 21 Carl Loton has left the line.
And I've got car number 719 going past me at the moment. He's safe through and headed to the line, and his time, he stops the clock at 6:586.
Yeah, that actually is 19. They haven't covered the 7 up very well, I noticed, when it went by. So that's actually Simon Crystal. And, it's against a dodgy coloured background, isn't it?
Ross McDonald going by. Engine core as he goes by. It's really good. And his time is 6:470.
Got that one.
Now I've got car 21 coming into view. Goes round fallow. All got their wipers on there, so not great. Bit of a twitch going through museum. And his finishing time is 60.61.
Got that one as well. It's Carl Lupton. Tom Fisher should be with you, and we're looking out for, this is Catherine Wigmore in the Cayman.
Yeah, Tom Fisher's just arrived. Very photogenic car. Photographs really, really well. Number 22. And he accelerates now towards the finish with a time of 6:325.
Which was Tom Fisher. Of course, Catherine Wigmore coming your way now. Stephen Jury, Porsche 944, coming down from Fletcher's towards us right at the moment.
Here comes Catherine in the Cayman. Makes her way around museum. Puts the power down. I bet they're cursing this weather.
Yeah, it's coming and going, isn't it?
Yeah, her time's 6:790. We have got some sunshine though, Eddie, so all is not lost.
That's good. Well, Wayne Easton on the start is... Well, this is Wayne Easton, I beg his pardon. On the start line is Martin Leach.
Stephen Jury's with you. Broke really hard going into Fallow. Ahead of that, and he's headed over the line now, and his time is 6:314.
Got that one. Wayne Easton with you, Martin Leach. Now just coming into sight at Fletcher's, and on the start line is number 27, Geraint Evans.
Wayne Easton's squealing past me, given the tyres didn't work out. Accelerates hard now and heads for the line with a time of 6:209.
Next one you're seeing is Martin Leach. We're looking out for Geraint. Here's Geraint Evans coming down from Fletcher's. Oh, and he almost... Oh, and he goes into the cones. And he stops before he gets to the barrier. Is he going to continue, or is he going to give up? He's returning to the paddock.
Martin Leach has just gone past me, knocked up a bit coming into the fallow, but came out of it okay and ended up with a time of 6:357.
No, it won't. No.
6:357 for Martin Leach. You will get...
We'll leave that way, so might be safer.
Is that Geraint Evans?
Yeah, he's gone back to the paddock and is a fail, Geraint.
Right, I've got car number 29, which is Andy Fagan.
Yeah.
Just come into view.
Yeah, we've not seen Ian Wadsworth.
Going well. Sounds terrific. Nice smooth sounding engine, that one. Not as harsh as some of the others. Just crossed the line. Time 59.87. Andy Fagan.
Yeah, we are going to see Graham Rose. He had a little incident yesterday and had to go home. So he's going to need some P38 body filler. Possibly a bit more than that actually, but there we are. No Graham Rose. We haven't seen Ian Wadsworth either.
I I've got Peter Taylor with me.
Yeah, you have.
Heading up to the museum.
David Dyson follows him up.
So he knows the hill and he just crossed the line. 59.73 seconds. He got the roof down, Eddie.
Hey,
Great.
that is, yeah, rather.
And I've got another car coming in. It's car number 33.
David Dyson, that is.
David Dyson, yeah. Round he goes. Striking colours. Accelerator over the line now. 59.05.
And you also will have Tim Barber, who actually is, they swap positions, him and his co-driver.
Yeah, just arrived. The red Porsche. Still got his wipers on, but we have stopped racing up here, so that's good. He's just crossed the line in a good time. 56.70.
Right, 56.70 then. Now we move to end of this batch. This is the first runner in the Midland Championship classes, David Garnet, 744, did a 65.99 earlier on this afternoon, earlier on this morning, I should say.
Yeah, I've got David with me. Sometime photographer, sometime driver. Past he goes. Lovely little car, really competitive little car. And they've crossed the line now at 66.09.
So bear in mind the points count separately. The morning class runs is one score and the afternoon is another. So David Garnet has set a time for all the others to beat this afternoon to take points. So paddock gate about to be opened.
Yeah, batch is on its way back down, Eddie.
Right, well,
Firing up their Porsches.
we'll give you some Porsche class positions. These obviously are scratch times, as it were. So the Barber and Hilton car is at the top, and Tim Barber 734 did a 56.7. His co-driver David Hilton 56.98. In third place David Dyson 59.05. That's what we can give you just at the moment. But during the batch returns, I will give you the class positions as they unfold this afternoon.
Got our young junior marshals helping up the paddock here, sorting out cars and sending them all back down. I think the final car's on its way.
Yeah, always we are so grateful for their help. They can't marshal on the main part of the hill, but they enjoy their afternoons pushing.
They're as keen as mustard.
They sure are, yeah. Don't know what the collective noun is for a class of Porsches. A class of Porsches, I suppose. One of them smells a little bit petrol-y. So don't forget, we've got our food bar at the top end of the paddock. We have the ice cream man, Kevin, behind us, and we have the bar, but unfortunately I don't believe the shop is open today.
Sadly not, Eddie. Nobody to man the shop.
Shame, I was going to get myself a cap, as if I haven't got enough of them already.
Fashion icon you are, Eddie.
Well, yeah, not so you'd notice.
No, perhaps not.
No. So the class, let's have a look at this, the next class that we will see. We will see the race van conversions Loton Park Championship, but I don't think that scores separately between morning and afternoon. That's cumulative. But this morning, Tony Adams in the road-going production cars up to 2 litres, Class A1, comprehensive win for him, 2nd and a half for Tony Adams over Rob Wilson, 63.91. Dave Warner in the Clio 64.1 for third position. Dave's going to be pleased with that. Of course, we're missing this season, we're not seeing Richard Brandt in his Clio. He blew it up comprehensively over in Gubbio in Italy, and well, the money tree isn't blooming the way it did, so he's had to knock it on the head. But did you know, Jeff, that he's going to commentate at Doon next weekend?
Who's that?
Richard Brandt.
Really?
Yeah, kid you not.
Is that where he's gone today? He's on his way up there already?
I suspect he is, actually, yeah. Well, it takes a long while in one of those diggers that belongs to Severn Trent, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a fair old journey, yes.
So we'll enjoy hearing him on the live streaming next weekend. Good fun. Right, so we've got Jim Alcock on the hill. So we are running back to our Race Van Conversions Loton Park Championship for B licence holders. So this is the club championship. People who compete at Loton Park and our Hagley members.
Right, I've got car number 37 with me at the moment.
That is Jim Alcock and his Mazda Unoff.
Yep, nice little MX-5, heading up towards the finish line, and his time is 7:1:17.
So they've lost a little bit of time. He did a 70.73 earlier, so a little bit of wet hasn't slowed them up much, but it's bad. Martin Groves said you see one spot on your visor, it slows you up. That's all it takes. He claims he lost the British Championship through that, you know, but there we are.
Car 38 just gone past me, Eddie.
Michael Paris?
Yep, crossing the line at 7:061.
So that time is for Michael Paris, then Warren Rees, and then we'll see Rob Wilson, who is the first of our registered competitors for the British Championship.
Yeah, we're now car number 39, going around the museum. Can't see at the moment, photographer's in the way. Just crossing the finish line, time of 67.84. 67.84.
Of course, I let myself down there. It's actually David Garnet did set a qualification time for the Midland, 66.09, but I can be pretty sure that he's not going to be in the runoff, no matter how hard he tries.
I've got Rob Wilson with me at the moment, car number 40. It's the Honda, and it's heading up towards the line now. Crosses the line, stops the clock at 63.82.
He's the quickest so far this afternoon. So that's the time for the next guys to aim for. Dave Warner on his way as well.
Yeah, here he comes.
Now working for David Brown Automotive down in Silverstone.
This is Dave Warner, he's just arrived. Bit of a squeal coming through fallow. Yanks on the wheel to get himself through museum. Very bright pair of gloves. And heads towards the finish line, and a time of 64.14.
Oh, and that's a change to your programme to come. Tim Higgins has had to go home, retired the car. It's not well. So he was red flagged on a run and something went wrong. And he's had to leave with it on the trailer, sadly. Let's see. And so Dave Warner, that puts him into second place at the moment, qualifications-wise. But class-wise, what does it do? Have a quick go at that.
Right, car number 42, which is Chris Westwood, of course. Seasoned campaigner, Chris. There's a lot of driver schools, always seems to enjoy himself. Roars past me now and heads to the line. Chris's time is 66.56.
Checking on Chris. Nah, he's not registered for the Midland, which is why I don't have a tile for him. Here's Ian Richards coming your way. Saw the car in the hands of his co-driver Dave Garnet.
Yeah, just arrived. Gets up on three wheels as he goes through fallow. Obviously, as you would in a car like this. He squeals past me and goes past the commentary box, and he's heading up towards the finish line, and his time is 64.55.
So that puts him in third place so far. Next along you will have Tony Adams, who is leading the class from this morning. He scored points this morning.
Here comes Tony. He had 64 points at the start of the day in the championship. So
Yeah.
working away at that. Through he goes, looking as tidy as ever, and over he goes. His time is 63.50.
That's the quickest we've seen so far this afternoon. And next along, well, that's Gordon Hick coming your way. Gordon is not registered for the Midland, and that's the all-wheel drive VW Golf RC10 with 300 horsepower.
Right, here we go. Car number 49 goes past me, accelerates away, and Gordon's time is 63.72.
That was Rick Leddy just went past us in the Audi TT, and he's in the Raceman Conversions Loton Park Championship, not the Midland. Simon Tarling next along. Simon is registered for the championship, of course.
Car number 50 with me at the moment, Eddie.
Yeah,
Audi TT.
yeah, that's Rick Leddy.
Over the line. Time of 59.61.
And Andrew Russell in the Venerable. There's no other word you can use really. It's been around forever, as has its driver, some 35 years competing in this Ginetta.
Simon Tarlin's just going past in the Porsche 966, and he powers it over the line. Time of 61.24.
Simon Tarling then that puts him into the lead overall this afternoon for Runoff Glory. Only if we get torrential downpour will that time survive, I fear.
And here comes Andrew Russell. Car number 54. Round he goes. Knows his way up this hill pretty well, I think, by now. And heads up towards the finish. And Andrew Russell's time is 60.29.
Yeah, let's not worry about autonomous cars. This one already drives itself, we think, don't we? So that put him into the lead. And with you is Michael Harriman. He's the last runner in our Raceman Conversions Loton Park Championship.
Yeah, past he goes. Roaring away. And heads towards the conclusion. And its time is 62.31.
Well, you've got Dave Newell. Meantime, this is Mark Linforth in the little Fiesta, an ideal starter car, and he's enthusiastic and misses a gear. I fear he's broken the car, has he?
No sign of it. Dave Newell's with me at the moment. Dave's just gone past.
Yeah, I think Mark Linforth's plus something.
I think he's run out of gears.
65.26.
Run out of gears and he stopped before.
Got a problem down there, Eddie?
Yeah. Mark Linforth has run out of gears.
Not talent, gears.
No. If it was run out of talent, that would be me. Driving. Never had much anyway. And he's stationary on the little triangle turn in at top end of Keepers. So he's going to need a bit of a push, and some of the marshals are setting off to go and do a bit of a job on him. So yeah, he seemed to miss a gear, be out of gear down here, but he must have broken. It could be something like the gear linkage gone wonky, so he can't get any cogs. I was just saying what an ideal starter car those Fiestas are, because that particular, I think that's the Series 3, isn't it? But you can pick those up for next to nothing. And I'll quote what happened a few years ago when Duncan Stevens, who may be known to some people as a sporting trialist and a auto tester, occasional hill climber, him and his brother, and these are the family that run the Four Hammers firm, that make hide and brass and copper hammers. He bought a Vauxhall Nova, the 3-door green one, the colour that nobody wanted. They paid 300 quid for it. They ran it for 2 years doing grass auto tests, tarmac auto tests, production car trials, or whatever they call that these days, the occasional hill climb and sprint with it, and they sold it for £5 more than they paid for it 2 years later.
That's good motorsport, isn't it?
That is proper, simple motorsport, yes, yeah. And this is why we do need, in my opinion, I know safety is always paramount, but I do say that we ought to have a bog standard road car class where the only thing you can do is fit a seat and a cage and a harness. Everything else would have to be standard. Apart from the cutting of the trim you have to do to fit a cage, you always have to cut some of the sidecars and so on.
And you can't pay more than, say, £1,000.
Something like that, yeah, because you can now pick up the old Honda Civic Type R. You can pick the earliest one, the one that nobody wants, for about 1,500 quid. I've been running searches all week about that, but yeah, I think there should be a class, and it's I think probably I ought to get the quill pen out and write to David Richards, don't you?
I think so, yeah, sounds like a great idea.
So you have to wear the full safety equipment, you know, personal safety, yeah, but do nothing else other the only mods allowed enabling you to fit better level safety equipment, if that's what your insurer demands. Right, Steve Bailey away from the start line now. Steve Bailey, always quick, perhaps not in his quickest car. This is the Peugeot 205. He also has a super duper Mark 1 Escort Mexico, but he's running this one, and he occasionally shares the car with other people, doesn't he, including Lucy McFarlane. She'll run it on the Saturday, he'll run it on the Sunday.
Can't see him yet, but I can hear him screaming.
Yeah, well, he'll be giving it maximum welly, as we know. He is registered for the championship, by the way.
Just coming into view, a flash of white through the trees.
Paul Jones coming our way. Lotus.
Yeah, here comes Steve Bailey, screeching round museum, accelerating away. Great line, that's a fabulous line. And he's crossed the line. Time 6:0:10.
Yeah, there aren't many people who know a better way up Loton Park than Steve Bailey. He is really good, and that's the quickest one we've seen this afternoon. But Paul Jones, fortunately capable of something. Stand by your bed. Here comes Darren Bolster in the ex-Willem Turret. Richard Marshall, Peugeot going like an absolute steam train.
Paul Jones just gone past at some speed, time 58.82.
Yeah, that puts him into the lead. It's all academic, really, when you consider the sheer number, 40-odd cars yet to come.
Here's Darren Bolster, lifts the back wheel going through Balloon. Car sounds great, actually.
It is. It's back to the best it ever was.
Screams past me and clears the line at a time of 57.95.
Yeah, regrettably, of course, that's kind of where everyone can't see him. So he's not registered for any championship, so can't possibly qualify. But let's have a look at where he is in the class. There's the old maths of work. Right, here's Andy Fraser. Mark Cunny on the hill towards you. He was on a restart, got red flag when Mark Linforth went off.
Mark Honey's just gone past. That's a well-worked Peugeot, use that. Just across the line, 66.52.
So Darren Bolster's sitting on top of the class overall, both morning and afternoon. You've got Andy Fraser. Yep. Mark Honey is Mark Honey.
Rumples past me and sets a time of 61.2.
Yeah, Mark Honey not registered for the championship either, as was, neither was Dave Newell. So, right, now here comes Joy Hoyle. This will be a quick run. Very, very quick lady driver, sharing this Westfield, supercharged Westfield with Ash Mason. She is registered.
Got Graham Manton just gone past, Hagley committee member, and just crossed the line, and a time of 63.02.
Yeah, so Graham did a 61.96 this morning. So
I've got car 779 at the moment, which is Joy Hoyle,
yeah,
in the Westfield, and her time is 53.95.
Next up is Clive Austin, first single-seater of the afternoon. This will be a relatively quick run, maybe not as quick as the co-driver. He won't be hanging about at all, will he? 6302 Graham Manson. puts him well down the list, unfortunately.
And here comes Clive, going through fallow now, accelerates out, heads up towards Museum, puts the hammer down, and heads towards the line. And Clive's time is 49.32.
49.32 when I find it black. And that was Lindsay Summers going past us, committee member, competition secretary of the club.
Absolutely, here she goes through Museum and accelerates away towards the finish line, and the time for Lindsay is 51.25. 51.25.
Nice improvement over this morning, you know. Did a 52.06 then. 5125 for Lindsay. Happy days. 5125 is the quickest we've seen.
And that's the
Par
end
5
of,
Austin, I should say.
that's the end of the batch.
Yeah.
And cars are just heading down towards you, Eddie. Just
That's
leaving the
great.
paddock now.
Right, we'll give you a little bit of a batch run down as best we can. Race van conversions. A Loton Park Championship for B licence holders. And this afternoon, Rick Leddy did a 59.61 to lead the class yet again this afternoon. Second place, Michael Harriman. No relation, by the way, to the other Harrimans. I think that's probably the last time I need to mention that. Now he's established himself in the running order. 62.31 his time. And Warren Rees third, 67.84. That's this afternoon's time. And see if we can have a look at Class A1. And we can. And this afternoon, Tony Adams, 63.5. Taking the lead this afternoon, so scoring 2 lots of 9 points today. Consolidates his charge behind Robert Kenrick. Second place, Rob Wilson, also doing well, 63.82. Dave Warner third, 64.14. We'll have a quick gander at A2. Well, only the 2 runners there, of course. Sean Toms withdrew yesterday, and Simon Tarling, 61.24, has the lead, been followed home by Gordon Hicken. That's very, very quick, and maybe don't like the colour, but it's one hell of a car, 63.72. It's the only car he has now, by the way. And into the Class C1, the modified series production cars from up to 1400 and up to 2 litres, so the merged class. Darren Bolster, quickest again this afternoon, 57.95. Paul Jones in the Lotus, second, 58.82. Steve Bailey third, 60.1. So the 1, 2, 3 positions the same this morning and this afternoon. What it means is, of course, that Paul Jones, Darren Bolster not being registered, Paul Jones scores 6 points for his second place there, both times. So we've called it, it's not the right word to use, but you might call him a spoiler, Darren Bolster. So he's having one of his occasional runs out, proves to be quickest. But what he does is push aside the Midland Championship registered competitors. But that's all part of the game, of course. Nothing wrong with that at all. Tim, I need to go and have a look at Tim Painter's time. Andy Fraser. Andy Fraser did a 61.28. That's he is championship registered, so that put him quite well down the order now in 7th position. And David Garnet disappeared off the back. So David Garnet, nil point. Going to qualify for a runoff, not the road. It would have to be a real torrential downpour of biblical proportions, wouldn't it, for a road car to qualify from those classes later after they've taken their run. we'd probably all be on our way home, you know, with all of our cars washed out onto the main road. So currently, the line-up for Runoff 2 is Clive Austin's 49.32, Lindsay Summers 51.25 second. I can't find Clive Austin's tile on this old-fashioned system I use now.
49.32.
Yeah, 49.32. Did a 49.75 this morning. So he's the quickest. So in this next batch, hold on. I just kept my radio silent while the paddock marshal announced somebody needed to go to their BMW and move it because it's parked in the paddock where it ought not to be. Couldn't quite catch the registration number though. So Clive Austin 791, he was in batch 3. So we're moving on to batch 4. The next car should be Gary Morgan if everything goes according to plan. Whether we can see Tim Painter this quickly after a car change is another matter. We might not be able to. Very commonplace in UK hill climbing. Probably 5 to 10% of the competitors at any meeting are dual-driven cars with 3-digit numbers. You know, you'll have a 719 and a 19. And you get a rapid driver changeover. On the continent, because of the sheer length of their hills, they don't. I don't know if you knew that, Jeff. They don't actually do that. There's no such thing as a dual driver on the continent. Just one shot at everything. And Christian Merli at the top end of the European Championship is unbeaten this year so far. He's won everything, and still running Avon tyres, of course. Good lad. One hell of a driver. So we've now seen 12 registered competitors in the Midland Championship. The likelihood of any of these remaining all the way through into Runoff is fairly low, but they score for their class positions. That's what this is all about, and once in a while, occasionally one of them may qualify for a Runoff, usually caused by weather-related issues. Right, the red flags are waved, the whistles are blown, and that means you immediately spot the body language of the start line marshal. They start to look down towards the paddock and look for the next car to come towards them. Should be number 65, Gary Morgan. It is indeed Gary Morgan in the Vauxhall Chevette, a car which is pretty rare in motorsport these days. It's almost a historic rally car, this one. So, Gary Morgan away from the start line, 2.36 to the 64 board. He's going to come into view out of Loggerheads and into Fletcher's right now. Here he comes. 2.42 to Loggerheads. Wheels, tyres barked slightly, just began to get them locking up. Sitting on the start line with Tim Painter at the Aston Martin Vantage. Tim painted these for start.
Yeah, Gary Morgan echoing as he comes up through Cedars. And he's with me now, car number 65.
Car 68 is on the start line.
Heads towards the finish line. His time is 59.84 seconds.
Just putting him in qualification position for the moment. Fifth. A good quick run for him. And this is Paul Howell, number 68.
I've got Tim Painter with me now, Eddie.
Yep.
Ruffles past me and heads towards the finish.
Is that a posh version of Advantage?
61.83.
61.83, Tim Painter. Does give him a qualification position temporarily. Up there in 10th place.
Paul Howell's just screamed by and stopped the clock at 54.67.
He does tend to scream by, doesn't he? Paul Howell's 54.67 puts him in 3rd place. However short term that is, that's Tony Adams. Disappears off the back, and Graham Manton on the bubble, as Jerry Sermon always puts it. Not that we know what that bubble is really.
No, just arrived, just going past me now. Accelerates harder, heads towards the line, and the time of 63.19.
That's for Becky Manton, of course. That's not going to get her in, so that's straight in and straight out. Not a qualification time, sadly. You've got Jerry Neary, the retired long-term dentist, originally from Ireland, lives near Lutterworth.
Just crossed the line, 65.34.
Yeah, that doesn't qualify him. So another one off the back.
I've got Radar now in the Caterham 7. And that's just shot past accelerating hard over the line at a time of 55.35.
Oxford Don Ray Law. Earlier. 5:35 now. He was praying to the rain gods to keep away at the end of lunch break. That's a decent time. Puts him in 5th place overall for now.
I've got Westfield now, Tim Pennington. Rested at the wheel as he goes through Museum, and he crosses the line, and his time is 50.67.
Not ready for the championship, sadly. And Steve Garner is next for you, and then Simon Jenks is coming our way already.
Yeah, Steve Garner's just arrived. Nice line going through Fallow, accelerates hard up towards the blind corner that is Museum. A little bit of wheel wrestling going on there. Heads crossed over the line at a time of 53.
Good time for Steve, puts him in 3rd place. Yeah, good one. Tim Painter disappears off the bottom of the chart. Simon Jenks with you. I think Ash Mason coming our way fancies his chances.
Simon's just arrived. Sideways stuff coming through Fallow, accelerates through Museum, and heads up towards the line. Simon's time is 51.85.
Position. Shoves out Andy Fraser. Ash Mason next. Win the class this morning.
Yeah, usually he comes screeching through, working the wheel heads to the finish, 51.32. Top of the class this morning, wasn't he?
Yeah, sorry, yes, he was. Yeah,
start of the day.
It was. He snatched it away from Simon Jenks at the very, very end of the last run. So on the start line, 1997 British champion Roger Moran, recently acquired Darien Honda.
Just had the Silver Riot go past, 55.43.
Yeah, that's Martin Watt. That's well quicker than this morning. It's over 2 seconds quicker than his morning time. He's been psyching himself up, I think.
I've got car 83, which leads the program at race 16, and the time for that is 59.7.
And he's not registered for the champ. That was a Rawson Space Prime special.
Roger Moran with me now. This car sounds superb.
It's a beast, isn't it?
It's fantastic, and as like all Moran cars, it's beautifully turned out, and it's just crossed the line. Time of 56.32.
Graham Lokes next. He is at Roger Moran, not registered for the championship, but Graham Lokes is.
Graham's arrived, he's come through fallow, immaculate lines, a driving school instructor, so they would be immaculate, and he heads up towards the finish now in the Lola, and time of 57.49.
Yeah, gets him, he's sitting in the qualification spot just at the moment, there, in from 10th position. Next coming our way, this is Gavin McLaren in the not the Crumpets, this is the Muffins, so the second of the Nut Sand cars.
Muffin, Crumpets, it's all the same, maybe?
Yes.
87, number 87. Just coming past me now. 599 cc, squeezing away as it heads towards the line, and it says the time is 66.98.
Qualify Gavin McLaren, sadly for him. Never mind. Right. And the red flag.
His time is 57.39.
Lesbrook, a bit slower than this morning. Nearly half a second slower.
And now I've got car number 90, which is Jim Spencer. And he heads up towards the finish, and his time is 49.95.
Yeah, he's a second slower than this morning with that 49.95. Just put in second qualification position there, so the single seaters are, as you'd expect, beginning to fill out the places. Chris Aspinall sitting on the start line, number 91. Preparing himself. Got into our runoff this morning and finished 12th. Nil point, sans point. What he does this afternoon. Yeah, it'll be quick. He's been held there with the engine off while the red flags are out. Right, the flags are coming in. The whistles are blown to bring that to people's attention, so we'll be back underway very shortly. Chris Aspinall away from the start line. Engineering manager at Jaguar Land Rover at Gaydon. Chunks the car, absolutely threw the car around Fletcher's.
On his way up, I can certainly hear it echoing up.
Yeah. He's nearly with you. And away from the start goes Richard Summers.
Yeah, here comes Chris, just arriving, braking hard into fallow and accelerating up towards Museum. Flipping the throttle, lifts the wheel off as he comes through, and he crosses the line. Time 48.08.
Fastest so far, fastest qualifier. Ought to get him in, really.
And I can hear Richard Summers on his way as well. Yeah, here he comes. Brakes hard into fallow.
Jack Kotter comes to the start line. Martin Jones coming our way.
Fastest way past us, and time 49.83.
In third qualification place. Time. More red flags down here.
Right, car number
No, they
9.
came straight in, the flags.
Martin Jones is with me. Stutters his way through Museum, a blipping of the throttle, and he's set a time of 50.15.
Puts him 5th place qualification. Jack Kotter is far away from the start line. That was Robert Kenrick. Must have turned the wick up, I think. The way that sounded.
I've got Jack Kotter with me now. Knocked a flip-flop out this morning, but he's got it on. He's heading up towards the finish. Jack's time is 49.1.
We've got to keep our eyes on the class record time with Robert being on the hill.
Here he comes. Comes fast into fallow. Got it all under control though. Takes a great line through there. Heads up towards Museum. Accelerating out. And heads up towards the finish. And his time, 45.47.
Just less than half a second outside his class record.
Fabulous.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, great support.
Get to the point where it's going to be difficult to go much faster. So that puts him well and truly into the lead.
Caroline Ryder on the way, yeah.
Yeah, and yes, Caroline's already going past us. We'll see her son out in the car in a little while. I've got it here. And Caroline with you on the start line is Bill Chaplin, the builder of these Empire racing cars.
Yeah, Caroline's just going through Museum now, powering away out of Museum, and she's heading towards the line, and her time is 50.29, 50.29.
By the way, Jack Kotter went into third place behind Chris
I've got Bill Chaplin on the way. Can hear it echoing through the trees. Flash of orange, here it comes. Braked hard coming into fallow, almost came to a stop and then accelerated away again. and through museum and heads towards the finish. Time of 48.9.
And here comes Alan Warburton, showing the run off this morning. Nice position. Sorry, get that right in a minute. Ahead of Mrs. Sun, not behind her. So we're into 8th position.
And Alan Warburton bursts past me and he heads to the line and he sets a time of 49.13.
Good enough for 3rd qualification place. That's 49.13. Just a 100th ahead of Jack Kotter. Where are you, Bill? No, yes, he is registered for the Midland, of course he is. There's Slate as well.
I've got Nikki Cottrell arriving with me, and she's heading through museum, and powers the pill beam away and heads towards the finish, and she stops the clock.
Yeah, not going to qualify here, sadly. Alan Warburton. So he's taken a gold scalp this afternoon, is Bill. Nicola Dearden on her way towards you. Sitting on the start line is number 120, which ought to be Bill Morris. Yes, it is.
Yeah, here comes Nicola, and she's heading towards the line. Her time is 59.57.
Not going to qualify her. Bill Morris next, as we always are, retired potato farmer from Dale on the tip of the Gower. So you've eaten water, you've eaten some of these.
I've eaten my share in my time.
I've given them up for then. Bill Morris on his way.
Yeah, I can hear him.
Handful of cars to come in this batch.
Here he comes. Heads into Palo. Beautiful car. Really lovely single-seater. And out he goes. And he heads up towards the line, and the time for Bill is 56.32.
Doesn't qualify him. Sitting on the start line was late entry just before the programme went to print, which is British number 5, Richard Spedding, having a go in Jonathan Varley's GWR Predator Cosworth. Richard not registered for the Midland. Doesn't normally do that because he's registered for the British and the leaders as well. Well up the chance in that one too. And, driving it maybe more caution than he drives his own car. As the saying goes.
Here he comes. He's heading into Palo.
He should be the last runner. He is the last runner.
Yeah.
That's fine, indeed.
Slides it through Palo and heads into museum. Power down and heads to the line. Richard Spedding's time is 47.68.
We'll qualify him second if he was registered for the Midland, predictably. First time in the car today as well. Never driven that one before in his life. And he's immediately on the pace, as you might expect.
Yep.
So we'll have a look at some class positions, I think, Jeff. Is that all right?
That's absolutely fine, Eddie. The batch is just on its way back down. The marshals are just pushing the first cars away.
Right. There we go to C1. Let's do C3. We didn't cover that before. 3 positions here are this afternoon with a 54.67. This afternoon's class win went to Paul Howells. Second place, Gary Morgan, 59.84. Third place, Andy Fraser, flip-flopping with his co-driver, 61.28 Tim painted with. Just that bit behind his co-driver on 61.83. This morning it was the other way around. Tim was beat Andy. So. Very competitive. Ex-single seat drivers, of course. The one called GR37 with the glorious Cosworth engine in the back belongs to Terry Graves. It's their old car and was built for them. And I think it's the only GR37 that still has the low nose. Maybe the one that's on Jersey with a NASCAR engine in the back, which only does a couple of events a year. God, that is a beast. Big heavy engine, but it's got about 700 horsepower. But that's the only other low nose one. So Tim and Andy bought that car. It's a circuit racing Aston Martin Vantage. It's never even been near a circuit. It's only ever hill climbed. Pretty much in the tradition of a number of people in the past who bought sports cars only to keep them on the hills and nowhere else.
Today's event, Eddie, being streamed live.
Here we are indeed, yeah, we're going out, that's my friend of mine sent me a messenger message that says, good news, you're boring the world, Ed. You know.
Well, I spoke to Rich Danby earlier, and we've had people from Saudi Arabia and Australia watching.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, so it beats Invercockaliki in Scotland into a cocktail, doesn't it, that one?
Just a bit, yeah. I mean,
it's actually Inveraliki, but I just call it. You've got to, if your pal lives in a place called Inveraliki, you're going to call it Invercockaliki, aren't you? You're bound to.
Almost inevitably, yeah.
Inevitably. It's a nice place, but God, it's bleak. You have to have triple glazing, and you don't have two front doors, you know, one on a porch. You have three front doors, one within another.
Is that like an airlock system?
It is actually, yeah, but you can sit in the conservatory and watch the waves crashing in all the way from Norway. But yeah, that's what he said. You're boring the world, Ed. Well done, son. So as far away as Saudi and Australia.
Apparently so.
Well, that'll be Darren Cantar, won't it? If you know he's a long-term hill climber who's known to a lot of people here.
Yep.
Who used to run the old Nola Hold'em, which is a bit like their version of the Clubman's car.
Yep.
Which has just been sold at auction. And he used to squeeze himself into Delara with some difficulty as well. But Darren is mad keen enthusiast of Greek heritage, but a big hill climbing enthusiast. It's bound to be him, it's just got to be. He's daft enough to sit up all night and watch that.
Well, we've all sat watching just results, so.
Yeah, we have, haven't we? Yeah.
Refresh the screen every few seconds. So.
Yeah, at least you can actually see something go past here, can't you?
Get something for your money.
I'll be reviewing it with embarrassment tomorrow, I expect.
Probably.
I tell you what, I actually watch more YouTube these days than I do conventional telly.
That's fantastic. YouTube is like everybody's favourite website.
Yeah, it is. It's just, I mean, there's this guy, Jeff Marshall, who reviews. It sounds boring, but it's really, you get into it. It's reviewing every single station on the London Underground and going to every single station in the UK and Ireland.
Have you ever seen any of the guys that restore pieces of equipment up there?
Oh yeah,
like knives and drills that are ancient, and they strip them down and rebuild them.
Yeah, it's much more interesting than watching the news, isn't it?
I start watching it, I think it was 20 minutes this video, I'm not going to watch all of this, and then 20 minutes later I've watched the whole thing. I'm just fascinated by it.
Well, Richard's got the right idea, you know, if you're going to attract any attention these days. I had Graham Wynn, Championship co-sponsor, British Championship co-sponsor, asking me, what are we going to do to get more coverage in the press? And I said, I think the press is dead.
Yeah, move on.
You know, the Autocar sacked us, and I'll refrain. I want to start swearing when I think about what they did. Motorsport News can't be bothered. Motorsport News are down to 5,000 copies a week from about 55,000 30 years ago. Half of those are online subscriptions anyway, so you know there's no paper being printed to do that. So it is yesterday. It is truly yesterday's news, isn't it?
Yeah, what Rich is doing here is the way to go.
Yeah. All we need is to get somebody like Motorsport TV, which actually owned those weekly publications, but belongs to Zach Brown. We just need to, you know, maybe get them to host it. I don't know. Who knows? But that's one of the possibilities.
Throw some money at it.
Yeah. Well, we need a big money sponsor, don't we? But eventually we hope we'll get somebody interested. But I mean, it was for me that couldn't travel last year because of my ill health. It was fabulous to be able to see Doon and Nick Kemp, you know, the guy in the wheelchair that used to follow us until he moved back up to Scotland. It enables him to keep in touch, doesn't it?
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
I've sat and watched him. He's great.
I won't be too rude about it. Poor old Nick, he almost wet himself when he saw it for the first time. He really did. He got so excited, because he does, because of his issues and stuff, sort of body issues and so on. He does. He just gets so carried away. Right, here comes Steve Day, leading the class of Formula Fords.
Indeed.
Ain't going to qualify for any runoff, but I'll tell you what, it's such a competitive little class. Steve Day leading it. Well, he won it this morning with a 59.68.
Right, he's with me now. Well, he's very popular at the moment at Formula Fords. Car number 96, Steve Day, heads round Museum and pulls away and heads towards the line, and Steve's time is 59.45.
Oh, quicker than this morning, so he's on course to do it again this afternoon and score himself, I mean, how many entries has he actually started 5, so he's not going to score 9 points. He's going to score a reduced point level, but he's going to score some. Not going to qualify. Carol Nichols, it was her father Ken who founded Nike Racing Cars, so this is a family heirloom, this particular car of hers.
Here she comes. She's a bit of a character when you talk to her about motorsport.
Yeah, I know.
Makes her way through Museum and accelerates away, and she heads towards the line. Time for Carol is 69.70.
I think she'll be quite pleased with that.
I reckon so.
I would be. And next up, Doug Old. If you want your false teeth fixing, Doug's your man. He owns a business that makes false teeth and crowns and all sorts of structures for dentistry.
Yeah, well,
Down at Horsham.
He heads through Museum and he heads up towards the line, and his time is 62.36.
And of course he was the chairman of BARC Southwest that run Gersten Down HillClimb for many years, and it still is a clerk of the course there. Yeah, Charlie Riley, he's the next one, and not the final one in class, that would be Richard Weaver, and no Sam Lester. Sam, who you would expect to be vying for the lead with Steve Day, sadly unable to be here this afternoon, well, today.
Okay, here comes Charlie, car number 99, Van Diemen, and heads past me, and he's going to break the beam at 59.7.
Puts him... Yeah, second place in class, there we go. Just Richard Weaver on his way towards you in his Formula Ford.
Yep, got him in sight, brakes hard, coming into fallow, across the Dragon's Teeth style rumble strip, and heads into Museum. Bit of a wiggle, and away he heads towards the line. Time to break down man Richard, 59.74.
Neil Coles next into the class covered by number 104.
Yep.
1500cc racing cars, Neil Coles.
Got him here now, Neil Coles, car number 104. OMS 28, and he heads towards the line. Time 50.28.
Yeah, fits him into 9th place overall. That's 50.28. No, we don't. No, he didn't. He said it's a late non-starter, a withdrawal He is... Sorry, it is Mark Dalton. I'm getting confused with that other Mark.
Yeah, he's just arrived.
Yeah.
Yep, just going past in the Empire. And accelerates away. Time for Mark Dalton. 105.
Got him. Yeah, there we are. He's not ready. That's why he's not ready for the championship. So let's have a plate then. That explains everything. Right, Steve Morgan is though.
Steve Morgan's with me now. He's just arrived. He's braking into fallow. Takes a good line. Accelerates hard up towards Museum. Stabs the power down and heads towards the line. And the time for Steve is 50.26. 50.26.
Yeah, that qualifies him in 10th place. At 5026. Knocking people off the back of it. Blocks every single run right now. Matt Ryder was a qualifier and runner this morning.
Yeah, Matthew's just arrived. He's heading into Museum already. And he puts the power down. And quick car this. And Matt's time is 47.05. 47.05.
Well, that qualifies him in second position for the moment. And hopefully he will survive the onslaught of the later cars. And of course Matt finished fourth this morning. So Matt Ryder knocked his own mother off the top 12.
Shocking.
Shocking it is, isn't it? It's dreadful. Right, next car should be after 107. The timekeeping screen is frozen for me. I don't know about yours.
I've got nobody at the moment. I've just got Matt's time.
Yeah, well, his has not rolled up into the finished times either. I don't like to press the F5 to refresh because it sometimes has a wobbly. We didn't see Mike Turpin this afternoon, did we?
No.
No, so we didn't see Nigel Elliott. So we're running a few less.
Mike Turpin was second in the championship, in his championship this morning, wasn't it? His class, I should say.
Yeah, his position's at risk, I think.
Yep.
Right, away from the start line, Dave Warburton, winner of, second place behind Robert Kenrick in our runoff this morning. So take that slat tile out of the rack. I'm using an arcade system that means even if the screen freezes, I can still cope, providing I can see one of the other timing screens on the end of the
Technical stuff, this, isn't it, Eddie?
It's non-technical. It's one of only 5 sets of blocks in existence.
It's scary, this.
No, I've got 2 of them, because I'm greedy.
Right, here he comes. And there he goes, straight past me, heads towards the finish line. Time, 46.45.
Second fastest qualification spot behind Robert Henry, so just managed to chop the charts this afternoon, and that was a half spin from Ian Tucker down here. He's turned into his front wing is at 90 degrees to the track and is over the, as you call them correctly, Dragon's Teeth, over the rumble strip. And it is a hell of a rumble strip if you hit one with your car, isn't it?
It's going to destabilise you straight away, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, he turned in, the front end grip, the back end came round. And he looks like he's on a reasonable set of tyres as well. So that's Ian Tucker.
What you don't want to do is get the wrong side of it as you come through fallow, so your wheels on the grass, because it's just going to hook you, isn't it?
Yeah, of course we don't have the penalty of the bollards there, do we?
No, but there'd be a big enough penalty time-wise if you did that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we have seen people. There's some of the caterums when they come here in the Lotus 7 Club Championship who completely straddle the rumble strip and they've got enough ground clearance that they don't bottom out the car.
I can't see it's any advantage if you do that.
No, it isn't. No, but I think sometimes they just have to do it because they've overcooked the approach, and the only alternative would be go flying off onto the track the other side, that fallow and disappear into the undergrowth.
Yeah, I suppose once you're committed, you should go.
And it's full of ant hills as well, isn't it? Which could knock the bottom out of your car.
Yeah.
They're quite solid, those things, are.
Yeah.
That's where all the little lumps and bumps are everywhere, and the grass growing in different tufts. There's an anthill and a small anthill underneath.
Yeah, not a place to be.
They've even got, there's one, just a little red ant that's just wandering across my pad here. I don't know how the hell he got all the way up here. It's like going to the top of the Sears and Roebuck building, isn't it?
What you need is a pet anteater to bring with you.
He'd starve. It was the only one I've seen.
Oh, right, okay. All right, a pet anteater on a diet.
Right, sitting on the start line, we've got number 112, which is John Kotter. 2 litre class. Always quick away from the start line. 1.9, visibly quicker away from the start line camera than anybody else at 1.9. The reason is these fairly elderly pill beams have got an extra spring on the rear end that stops the back end diving, so they just grip and go. And it's the thing that Willem Towick came up with my pill beams about 25 years ago. Maybe not that long, but 20 years ago at the very least. And everybody else copied it since, but theirs seems to be the most effective.
Right, John's on his way, I can hear him, and I can see him now.
Yeah, George Bleasdale just did a 1.9 as well. They won't get into the runoff, but boy, they win the dash to the 64 foot.
And John Cottrell goes past me, and he heads toward the line, and he's close to the time of 5.
Not qualifying. And away from the start line, Mike Tregonning. He might just.
George has just come into view. Can't exactly miss that car. Bright yellow. Bright yellow car, bright yellow overalls.
It really hasn't changed very much from when the car was built. Not many mods to it at all.
Heads. 3.19.
Yeah, it doesn't qualify him. Mike Tregonning next. And away from the start line goes Josh Moss. He might fancy his chances of getting into a runoff.
Yeah, I've got Mike Tregonning with me now, and he's going through museum. And he powers away, and Mike Tregonning 7.
He does qualify just. 49.78. Survive. Yeah, just at the moment, that's Steve Morgan who dropped off the end.
Josh Moss has just arrived. Flash of orange. Very fashionable colour at the moment for cars, orange.
It does seem to be, doesn't it?
Certainly does. Good for photos. And past he goes. And he heads up towards the line. And Josh's time is 49 dead. 49.00.
Now I heard a bang up at Loggerheads, and I don't know if it was a car hitting something or a backfire in the exhaust. It was that sharp a bang, which would be Tim Elmer.
I nearly caught my foot underneath these ringers.
So Josh Moss's time of 49 seconds qualifies him 6 and bumps Martin Jones. We've still got some very quick competitors to come. So we say Tim Elmer. Sitting on the line is Andrew Henson in the Gould Dallara, which, having read some notes from Steve Wilkinson last week, is a Gould. It had so much work done to it to convert it from the circuit racing car. It is actually a Gould GR49. And 2 were built. The other 49 was the car that ended up with Andy Platt winning a round at the Sprint Championship. The marshals, I can just see them through the one great big tree on the inside of Fletcher's. So Tim Elmer got there. They appear to be pushing it. We can't quite. In the early spring, you can see all the way through the trees, can't you, Jeff?
Yep. Yeah, the visibility is noticeably different to it was 2 metres back, yeah.
Yeah, I think it changes the acoustics of the loudspeakers as well.
Yeah, it changes everything. It changes the light for photos. Yeah, it changes a lot. I like both, actually. I like it when there's less leaves, and I like it when it's in full leaf.
Yeah.
I've been up here in the autumn, actually, and photographed all the trees in full colour, and that's a spectacle.
I would love to see it. I've never been here that time of year.
Yeah, I got permission to come in the park and do it. It's beautiful.
Right, looks as if... Okay, well here comes Tim Elmer. Can't see. Car looks out of condition. Oh, he looks alright. I don't know if he did hit anything. It doesn't appear to be any damage that I can make out. The car's rolling and driving okay. And the bang sounded like an enormous backfire. But so it's a fail for Tim Elmer, so not going to qualify. Andrew Henson is sitting on the start line. He's stepped out at Nicola Dearden with the battery pack. So this car of Richard was Richard Marshall's car, that Andrew Henson's car. It was Richard's and Willem Towett's. Goulds did the work to narrow it, shorten it, narrow the body as well. It's got no radiator at all, just a small loop of cooling system. And then when they got the car, Richard proceeded to use the tool room of Benetton and later Renault F1 to modify bits. And one of his trainees at the time is now the team manager of this robo race, who you may have heard about lately. So there's a bit of a link between that and this car.
Right.
Made all sorts of suspension bits, and the guy told me, he said, oh, I remember that guy. He said, I made the side panels for it as well. The car was built originally for Leon Bachelier before Richard acquired it. And like a lot of these HillClimb cars, they've got quite a long family history. Like Andrew Henson with you, Tim Davis on his way.
Andrew's arrived, yes, got him. He's on his way up towards the museum already.
Next is
Accelerates out. Very well, and a time of 49.84.
qualifies him in 12th place. Probably isn't going to survive that.
I've got Tim Davis just arrived now. Nice wide line out to follow, but perfectly acceptable. Hits the apex as he goes through museum and heads up towards the finish line and sets a time of 49.75.
Right, gets him in 10th place, 49.75. So Andrew Henson came in and went straight out. And it's now Jonathan Varley of the 2-litre normally aspirated car. This is the one you are going to expect to qualify.
Yeah, here he comes. Brakes quite hard coming into follow.
Finished 6th this morning in the first runoff.
Yeah, accelerates away. Tweaks the wheel a bit as he goes through museum and now breaks the beam at 46.58. 46.58.
Yeah, 3rd place qualification for Jonathan. Summers off the back. Mark Tregonning on the bubble, as they say now. And Bernie Kevell.
Yeah, I've got Bernie with me now. And he goes through. Just getting the hang of this car, aren't they? Just crossing the
Yeah, it's
line.
going well for them now.
48.33.
48.33, Bernie Kevell. And qualifies in 6th place. Takes Mark Tregonning out. Sitting on the start line is Zach Zammit. Sandra Tomlin, number 835 in the big class. Sandra not registered for any championship that's running here this weekend.
Here she comes, this beast of a car. And she accelerates out of the museum, and the time for Sandra Tomlin.
Oh, Zach Zammit returns to the paddock. He's given up.
Time for Saturday was 52.34.
Zach's gone back that quickly. He's having to wait for the marshals to get there and open the gate for him. And his support team, who were leaning on the fence, they just legged it back towards the paddock space. So that's him at nil point this afternoon. He finished third in the runoff this morning with a 46.99, but he hasn't qualified this afternoon.
That's opened the gate for somebody.
It has, hasn't it? Well, let's have a quick look at the Midland Championship positions, which Bill kindly gave us earlier.
He was
yesterday.
top of the class this morning.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he? Yeah.
Start of the day, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Got a batch heading back down towards you now, Eddie. They're just pushing them out of the top paddock. Marshall's doing a great job as usual.
Just being consulted with about who's done what in the Formula Ford class, so that's out of the way. Well, Zach Dammett's returned to the paddock.
Good. Good.
If anybody wonders what the loud noise is occasionally, it's me accidentally punching the microphone. You get a scratchy nose and you end up biffing the mic.
I've got the world's most uncomfortable headphones up here.
Yeah, well, you don't hear anything through the headset, do you?
It's not what I can hear. No, you don't actually, and they're hideously uncomfortable. I feel I was having some sort of torture chamber.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the ones you see, those great big Dynamic things. In case anybody wondered why they're so big and ugly, it's because they're comfortable.
Yep.
They drop over your whole. They swallow your whole ear. So all you can hear is what's coming through the fold back. It's called. People say feedback. It's actually called fold back.
Yeah, we're clearing the paddock up here.
Yeah, so poor old Zach Dammett, that's a spoiled day for him, isn't it?
Yep, very much.
Now, why are we returning people? It's not actually the end of a batch, is it?
Well, they're on the way back down. A little marshal's just gamely been pushing John Cottrell's huge trophy. It looked like a bit of an effort, but he's got it.
I suppose just taking advantage of the opportunity, like you do sometimes.
Move it on.
Yeah, it does. Clark of the course is wandering around with hands in pockets on the start line, Jeff. What are we going to do with her?
What's the world coming to, Eddie? We've got a guest marshal today, Eddie.
She's even been seen within the last 2 months, during the week, at another hill climb. I'm not going to name it because if you notice, we've managed to avoid naming that other hill climb.
Well, I'm tempted to name it now because we've got a guest marshal today. We've got Marshal of the Year from the world famous HillClimb that we won't name.
We should mention it then.
We've got Jason with us.
Yeah, Jason Hannaford. Yeah.
Great. Marshal of the Year. I mean, that's heady stuff.
Yeah, I mean, he got a nosebleed travelling that far.
I checked his paper.
Outside the same valley.
He's got all the right paperwork to come up this far.
Has he really? Yeah. So he's got a pass out into Shropshire.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. We're very honoured.
Oh, we are. Yes. Yeah. We tip. I'd touch my forelock if I had one.
I paid him.
It all fell out years ago.
I paid him a visit this morning down on 2A, which is where he is, and yeah, he seems happy enough. He's having a good day.
Good lad. And who else? He's brought somebody else with him as well, hasn't he?
Not sure.
Roger.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Roger New Glasses.
Yeah.
The other week. Yeah. Who marshalled the robo race this week?
I went down to some photos of that actually on Tuesday.
Yeah. Well, I saw the first totally driverless run on Thursday.
Yeah, they got a guy standing there, a victim.
And he was told that, try and avoid doing anything to correct it. If it wants to crash, let it, apparently.
Great stuff when you're tumbling down into the rhubarb.
Yeah. This is where I met the guy that had a hand in Andrew Henson's car years and years ago. all very interesting and no threat, despite what some of the keyboard borrowers say, no threat to motorsport at all. It's a completely new form of competition.
No, it's just a project really, isn't it?
It is, really, yes, it has. It spills over into medical science, guided technology, all sorts of stuff. And into potential road cars. And as John Warren said, wouldn't you like, if you were still doing this in 20 years' time, to just get in your car and go to Doon and not have to drive? Just sit and look out the window while the thing takes you there.
Motorsport could really benefit from it, really. If, I can't see it in my lifetime, if everybody was driving in driverless cars, they'd love to go to an airfield or a hill climb at weekends and blast cars around, wouldn't they?
Exactly, yes, yes.
Wonderful.
What better? Now, this is Pete Tatham.
Yep.
Now, he didn't do so well this morning. Just got knocked out quite late in the qualification, and the car is very, very loose down here. He tried to go straight on out of triangle. He's taking this car to the limit this weekend.
Hear him on his way. Here he comes. Into Fallow. Squeals a little bit as he goes through Fallow, but now he's up into Museum. Yeah, very loose. Almost lost it just on the apex of Museum, but held it together. 49.2.
49.24 does slot him in 11th position and dumps Tim Davis out. This is Kelvin Broad now. And with two forced induction cars, he's got the original Philby MP101 at home. He's with you.
Yeah, just arrived through the trees, into Fallow, takes a nice line through there, accelerates up, great flames coming out the back of the car, and he heads up towards the line. Time, 48.98.
He's in. And that should survive, I think, with a bit of luck.
Quite a lot of flame coming.
Yeah. And here goes John Chalmers. Oh boy, that's a noisy beast, isn't it, that one? It is proper beastly, this car.
Here he comes.
My pen stopped working, would you believe it? No, that's just what I mean.
It's a museum. Finish line. The time to join is 47.98.
47.98. There's all sorts of things for him. Puts him.
I've got Simon Moyes just arrived.
Yeah.
Exits Fallow. Heads into museum.
47.98.
The bang and a pump, and over the finish line his time is 48.25.
So Pete Tatham gets dumped out of the 12 again, with John Chalmers slotting into 5th there. Simon Moyes' time will put him 7th place qualification. There's something about my pen, which is well and truly packed up. Credit it. Wish I knew where my pen case was.
Right, I've got Paul Crute on the way. Golf's coloured car. Heads up to the museum. Simon 130, Paul Crute.
Simon Andrews now.
And he heads up towards the finish line, and the time for Paul is 53.92.
Simon Moyes again with 48.25, slots him in to 7th position, takes Jack Kotter out.
Here's Simon Andrews in the OMS. And he heads out to the museum, and the time for Simon is 50.13.
50.13 doesn't qualify him. Okay, he'll be cross about that, I suspect. Yeah, his time slipped away there, and sitting on the start line is Coley. Paul Croot's time wouldn't qualify him. So we've just got, behind Mark Coley, we've just got Stuart Ridge to come.
Got no Graham Wynn today, have we?
No, he is a non-starter, sadly.
Right.
I'm just going to try and find a different pen.
Like one that works.
Yeah, I don't know why this has plenty of ink in the damn thing. I recharged it the other day. It's a special sort of indelible pen.
Invisible ink you've got there.
It is, it's on invisible ink, yeah. This one works. That's better. Right, here comes Mark Coley. Less of the pen talk, let's talk about the action on the track. So, Mark Coley was a bit slow away from the start, 2.3, so it's not particularly clever. Ollie Tomlin on the line, but not championship, very quick, but not championship registered, sadly.
I've got Mark Coley with me, and he steers into a little bit of a twitch actually as he comes through Fallow. The back end just pops out a fraction. He's through safely through Museum, and accelerating away, and he's over the line.
59.06. Just in 12th position as Bolton and Warburton out.
Oliver Tomlin's with me.
Yeah, won't qualify. And final runner who can qualify for a Midland Championship runoff is Stuart Ridge.
And Oliver heads towards the line, powers it over the line at 48.07.
Yeah, would have qualified him in 6th place were he championship registered. But he's not, and there are drips on the glass, unfortunately. And Stuart Ridge sliding about. That's a tiny amount of water sitting where it hurts most, under the wheel. See what Stuart can do.
Stuart just comes to the top and sees straight, turn into Fallow, accelerate now to Fallow, head towards Museum, takes a nice line through Museum, and accelerates away, and he's going to set a time of 54.11.
That doesn't qualify him. There we are. This is what happens to you, sadly. So, at the moment, Coley, our last qualifier. Yeah, we are. Batch. This is now timed runs for the Porsche Speed Championship.
Yeah, I've got Ian Crystal just come into sight. He's taking it steady. Just a tiny drop of rain immediately pushed out and given his line.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Car number 719. He's got his wipers on, he's accelerated past. He's got a time of 66.42. They've been a bit unlucky. They had rain earlier on when they did their run.
Yeah. It's not going well for them, and the automated headlights have come on Christopher Wigmore's car.
Yeah, I suppose they've got a roof and something.
Yeah, and air conditioning and all sorts.
Got that in here actually, the wind really picked up.
Blowing in through the gaps, is it?
Melted through the gas. Blowing this stuff around out there. Right, I've got car number 723, which is yep, Wigmore. He's going past it now. Lights on, yep. Heading up towards the finish line. Time for Christopher Wigmore is 66.14.
Of course, the lights are on for me, but nobody's at home. Oh.
Right, car number 728. Nick Wadsworth. And he is up to the finish, and his time is 60.38.
Yeah, got that one.
I've got David Hilton. Makes his way through Fallow. Car leads across as it goes through Museum, and he heads up towards the finish, and his time will be 56.09.
Right, well, I'm expecting a visit in an next few minutes from the championship coordinator, who confirms the official running order for this afternoon's runoff. But we have another batch of Porsches yet to come, those 4 being the ones that were up the very first thing this morning, 4 on their own, and those 4 finish off batch 6, just what was batch 7 now becomes batch 8 to run. I can see who we've got, but I'll wait until get some official confirmation.
Oh! Wait till we get the training. Put that ladder up. Put that ladder up.
Just a bit of housekeeping stuff. We've got our driver school places still available, only for the third of the 3 schools, the 21st of August. We've still got a few slots available. Anybody would like to come up here and do the driver school, details are on page 6 of the programme.
Which way is this out?
So we've still got some openings.
Only on the third one, yeah, the others have been sold out. There's only a handful left. But it's a fabulous day out, learn to drive the hills.
Who do we have as instructors generally? I've never actually been to one.
We've got Trevor Willis, one of our
Oh,
instructors.
well, that'll do, won't it? Yeah.
Yeah, just leave it at that, yeah.
3 times British champion.
Yeah, not a bad person to teach how to drive the hills.
He was consulted by Robo Race as to the correct lines for a car, by the way.
Wow.
And he said, I don't know. He said, I have my eyes shut most of the time.
Scary Trev.
Yeah. He's not quite so scary this year.
No, he's
a disappointment, I'm afraid.
No, he's mellowed a bit.
Yeah. Scary Trevor. Well, the bloke who first christened him Scary Trevor is the one with the liquidy moly cap on down here, Chris.
It's alright.
Yeah, he was the first person. Yeah, when at the old days at Bottom S, before you had all the safety barriers and mesh netting and so on, they used to, when Trevor came on there, they used to take 3 steps back and usually have the hand next to the fire bottle. But that was normally when John Jones was on the hill that you had to have the fire bottle.
We've got a few drivers like that, mind, haven't we, where you want to just take a few steps back.
Yeah, we can probably a couple of minutes and we think of a few of them, wouldn't we?
I could reel a few off straight away, yeah.
Well, Willem Towett was one for the start, wasn't he?
Yeah. Joss.
Oh yeah, Joss Goodyear. Yeah. And of course, at the TWF last weekend, you got the senior members of the commentary. Oh, I wonder if Josh is here this weekend. And of course, I then say the immortal word, no, he's on holiday in Canada, and I know because it's on social media. So you just know everything these days thanks to that, don't you?
Yeah, you got an insight in everybody's life.
No hiding place, really. He appears to be enjoying himself. He's got wet at what's that great big water? Niagara Falls, yeah. He's welcome to that.
That great big waterfall.
I saw it from the plane once, that was enough for me. I'm not masochistic. Although, you know something's going on when rescue get in the cab and start the engine. It doesn't mean they're going anywhere, it means it means it's wet outside and they're going to do their usual stunt, which is to eat cake, of course. What else?
Well, it's 2:45, so it's probably cake time.
It's almost beyond, it's beyond their bedtime, several of them. Yeah. And that's the old story that everybody loves about. I'll save it for another day. We'll do the one about students in Coventry University, which everybody loves. Because they sleep all day, don't they?
Tend to.
Yeah, especially on Sundays. Right, number 15 on the start line. So we're into the last competitive batch, non-runoff batch of the day. The last one will be our final top 12 runoff of the afternoon. Unfortunately, it's going to take place in damp conditions. So the car's away from the start, but I've got nothing on my screen.
No, normally.
No, there isn't anything on the display opposite. That normally is the kiss of you know what.
Perhaps it's because the rescue unit started.
We are not worthy. We are visited by a championship coordinator who carries with him good news. But not goodwill to all men. That's for later in the year. Maybe if we get there. Right, folks, so let me... I don't want to start reading this out and then the cars start running again. So I'm not quite sure. It looks like a timing reset. Somebody will have to give the timing computer, which is a silver, it's a clock without a face. It's like a silver glowing box. Right, it's working now. So away from the start line goes Howard Cressy. So number 15 is going to get a restart. Somebody probably forgot to press the go button or something. Right, thank you, Bill. Bill Harder, Midland Championship Coordinator. Straight down the steps he goes. And away, back to somewhere dry. And look out, here comes Howard Cressy. And he's going fairly steadily because although I can't tell whether in here, you can't tell whether it's stopped or not. I guess not, no. Anyway, he's on his way towards you.
It is raining.
Yeah. I can only tell when I see a drip go off the edge of the overhanging roof.
No, it's definitely raining. So.
Okay, good
Yeah,
man.
here he comes into sight, and as you say, taking it
Andrew Soper away from the start.
circumspectly as he goes through Fallow and heads up towards the museum. Got a nice roof over him, so he's quite comfortable in there. And he heads past me and heads up towards the finish line, and his time is 72.95.
So number 18 on the start line, which is John Bradburn, the bloke who appeared in so many runoffs over the years. 155 of them, would you believe? Yeah. He's away from the start. Yeah, John Bradburn, he did 155 runoffs. Finished on the top three, in the top three times, and competed at a high level for 8 seasons and scored 516 points, would you believe? And here we go. And he's off to Le Mans for the weekend. I'm annoyed. I'm going to Prescott Bike Fair. He's going to Le Mans.
I've got number 17 with me now, Andrew Soper, and he is heading up towards the finish line. Not very nice conditions, and his time is 70.26, 70.26.
Yeah, far from ideal, sadly.
Here comes John Bradburn.
The John Bradburn.
The John Bradburn, yes. And he's gone past me, and he's just gone over the line, and John's time is 62.90.
Next along, Barry Powell, doing that restart. Set off without the timing running. It does happen once in a while. Fortunately, it's a nice easy go back to the start here. Just a quick go around, and there we go again.
Yeah, I've got him coming into sight. Porsche 944 Turbo, heads up towards the museum. Brake lights on. It's how dark it is, you can see the brake lights. And he heads up towards the finish line, and he crosses the line, time of 73.52.
And coming down towards us now is Ross McDonald, in the colour of the moment, bright orange.
I've got Simon Crystal with me, making his way around the museum. Squeezing the power on, don't want to be too over enthusiastic. Perhaps probably a bit greased up now, and his time is 7024.
Next to that, nobody on the hill just at the moment. Something's happened upstream of the start.
Right, Ross McDonald's with me anyway. It's a beautiful looking car. Fabulous colour. Good on the photos. crosses the line, and Ross's time is 68.42.
Whatever happened just above the start line has been cleared. Marshall's rushed out of sight and rushed straight back. And away from the start line goes Carl Lupton in the Rose and Riley sponsored 944. Coming up to the start line is number 22, the hard-topped Boxster. Runoff is being called down there in the paddock. So here comes, going very steadily and returning to the paddock, is Carl Lupton. Something's gone wrong. Using a bit of discretion and not continuing further up the hill. He went off onto the grass. There's grass all over the place up at Fletcher's Dello, right on the apex as well, where you don't want a clump of slippery grass to be in these conditions. So he's carried that down with him from loggerheads by the looks of it.
It's getting a bit tricky out there now.
It is, yeah.
Raining quite a bit.
Yeah.
They said rain at 3 o'clock, so it's...
They weren't far wrong, were they?
No, we weren't far wrong.
They're not normally that accurate.
5 minutes early, I think that's a bit scandalous, but there you go. I've got a friend that works at the Met office.
Oh, you tell him, do you?
Yeah, well, yeah. His previous job, he worked on a particle accelerator, so he's quite a bright lad.
Yeah. Oh, somebody's just said, I'm falling asleep listening to you on the live feed, Ed. That's kind, isn't it?
Lovely. Could they do any better, though?
No, they couldn't.
No, exactly.
No. But unlike us, he's in his recliner drinking coffee. You just hate people, don't you?
Yep.
But it shows you there's an audience out there, even if it is an elderly Scotsman. Right, away from the start line, Tom Fisher. 3.04, oh yeah, that's really slowed up the start line, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be
3.04.
No grip down there at all, is there?
No, nothing at all, sadly. Yeah, it's doing such a the old lashing now, isn't it, on the side window? It's very, very steady. It's going to make it'll probably delay the start of the runoff and make it interesting, shall we say. So there's Tom Fisher going past us very steadily in the orange black striped Cayman. Sitting on the start line is number 24. Catherine Wigmore has left the start line apparently, but no loggerheads time yet, so she must be driving.
Yeah, she's got it
steadily. Here she comes now. Very steady indeed. Don't blame her, it's not pleasant.
No, I've got Tom Fisher arriving, taking it pretty steadily through fallow and accelerating quietly. Yeah, they are being quite circumspect now, and I like you say, you can't blame them.
It's proper yucky, isn't it, really?
It's vile out there, yeah.
That's a polite way of putting it.
Yeah. Just crossed the line, 85.46, that time tells it all.
Yeah, and the track is now glistening.
Yep.
Which means it's going to start running off shortly.
Yeah. Good day not to be a photographer, is it?
That's right. Well, I've done you a favour.
You've done me a massive favour.
We'll
I'm sat here in my nice air-conditioned bus, watching Catherine Wigmore drive past, just arriving up at
Stephen Jury's gone past us, and Wayne Easton has left the start, and number 26 is waiting to go.
It's getting more air-conditioned by the minute, this hut, actually, as the wind picks up. Catherine's heading towards the finish line, and her time is 90.81.
For those that have not been that far, never seen the commentary box, it's got guy cables, hasn't it? Steel cables holding it down. If it blows very hard in winter, if it didn't have those, it would end up somewhere near Barmouth.
Yeah, when you see something like them in cables, you know it's going to be drafted. Right, time 69.62 for Stephen Jury.
Yucky. It's even heavier now. So and anybody out there will know that. I'm preaching to the converted, but it's not good at all.
Yeah, perhaps we can shut up a minute.
The times are really falling away now, sadly.
Yeah.
Catherine Wigmore's 9081 showed that she was a little bit frightened of it.
Wayne Easton has just gone past. Wayne's time is 71.84.
Well, Geraint Evans has left the start, should come into view. Yes, he's got a 20 seconds to log ahead.
I've got Martin Leach just arrived at Fallow. Accelerating out at Fallow. Wipers on, of course. It's an absolute must at the moment.
And the start line camera's gone foggy, Jeff.
Great. Car number 26 then just gone by and sets a time of 68.47. That was Martin Leach.
Yeah, so we'll have a look in a few seconds when we get to the end of this class. We'll tell you about the positions before I give you the makeup of the runoff, which I've got in front of me now.
Okay, Geraint Evans has just arrived at Fallow.
That was Ian Wadsworth going past us, and Andy Fagan is on the hill. Not enjoying it.
Geraint Evans goes past me and he heads up towards the line and crossing the line safely. 75.24.
Next down is Andy Fagan. Peter Taylor has left the start. He is number 31, so just a handful of cars yet to come. 33 is on the start.
Got Ian Wadsworth just gone by. Ian set a time of 71.71 inside. I've got car number 29, which is Andy Fagan, just coming into view. Pretty little car.
Yeah, some nice stuff, and
Yeah.
Peter Taylor quickly away from her. That was accelerated very, very hard away from keepers, but he really slowed up at the exit of keepers.
67.09 for Andy Fagan.
I'll tell you what, that ain't bad in the second.
No, I thought that.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty brave, wasn't it?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be doing it. Next, here's David Dyson.
Peter Taylor just going by me.
So Dave Dyson on his way. And Tim Barber, number 734.
Peter Taylor's time is 71.34.
Number 734. Tim Barber should be the last class run of the day.
Got David Dyson coming past. Right, good. Stand out well in this light. Number 33. And his time is 72.61. And final fourth, I think. Tim Barber heads up towards the museum. Squeezes the accelerator, no stabbing required, and sets a time of 62.23.
Of course, David Hilton went before the rain started, so he's the only competitor to go better than 60 seconds in the second set of runs, so he's got it. He did it this morning. No, he didn't. I beg your pardon. It's Tim Barber who did it this morning in the same car. And he's done it this afternoon, and then all of a sudden the rain started and it all went sideways.
It's fickle stuff, isn't it? You know, it can change in...
It was only literally 2 minutes, you know.
2 or 3 minutes, and you've got a completely different set of conditions.
Because he was the last runner in the 4 cars that went at the end of batch 6.
Yep.
So however long, no, it was probably about 5 or 6 minutes for the batch turnaround.
Yep.
And in that time, it just pushed down chicane.
Everything changed, yeah. Not got too many people up the hill here, have you? Got
No, well, not really.
smattering of spectators.
You do get a bit of shelter under the cedar trees, but it's also, because of the way a cedar is constructed, it does tend to run off the needles, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's a couple of people down there taking shelter, and a few people by the fence.
You know, there's hardy folks under umbrellas by the fence down here. Good for them. People waving at us. Yeah, I'm not quite sure who it is, but they're pretending like they know me, but everybody does, don't they? Oh, I can see who it is now, yeah. Good
You
lad.
sure they're waving at it?
Yeah, I can see it, yeah. Star Peugeot driver. Good lad. Well, at least they've not cleared off home early, so they're going to stay for the runoff, because they're proper enthusiasts like the rest of us.
Yep.
I'm not saying that if I wasn't doing this, I probably would be sheltering in the Marshal's pound.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
Trimble. It's great, that building. Remember the old shed? I mean, it was getting to the point where when they reopened it in the spring, they thought it was going to fall over.
Yeah,
It was only the doors that was keeping the thing upright.
it's quite swift the new one by comparison.
It is alright, yeah, it's good. You could almost live in it. Like a holiday chalet. Right, the flags are waved and brought in, that means we're ready to rock and roll. I don't quite know, I can picture down in, I can't see it, but you can picture people who've been changing wheels and putting wet tyres on.
So we're into the runoff now, Eddie, yeah?
It should be the runoff now, yeah, and I'll say only that there is at least one person in this runoff who occasionally is a no-show if it starts to rain. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
I'll say no more than that. Horrible. We had the best of the weekend this morning, didn't we then? So we'll enjoy the fact that this morning's runoff was exciting and unpredictable for different reasons other than you might slither off in the wet.
Yep.
And for those of you watching in Australia, this is what we call rain.
This is proper motorsport.
You call it, we see it once every 10 years, depending on which part of Australia you're in.
This is real motorsport, isn't it, Eddie? Not watching some hole driving around a boiling hot truck.
And of course there's some F1 later on, isn't there, for those that can stick that. I can't stick it anymore, by the way. Can't watch it.
Pretty dull, isn't it?
Yeah. Whereas, you know, you get Goodwood TV when they do the Goodwood members meeting. Some of the racing there is absolutely sensational. I just wince when a really decent car gets totaled, you know.
I can't stand the coverage actually because I watch it on Channel 4. Can't bear the bloke who introduces it, and I can't bear the fact that Sky have set a contract up where they're only allowed to show 40% of track time, the other 60% is performance.
Is that F1? Really, I didn't know that.
That's the way I was told.
Right, yeah.
Careful why they stand there.
I should be going and doing this. Rich Danby's just run into sight wearing a high-vis vest over a short-sleeve shirt in the wet and put a plastic bag over the floppy, what do they call it, the fluffy dog on the microphone.
Right.
And that's what they called, in fact. Anybody involved in hill climbing may have heard of Jeremy Nightingale. He was involved with the world famous place, and so is his wife Melody. And of course they were involved with rescuing the Dello firm at the end of its life and running Dello cars. His eldest son Gordon owns the website fluffydog.com, and it's a website for sound engineers and sound recorders, because he does the sound engineering for, let me get it right, for Gardener's World amongst other things.
Okay.
And another pal of ours, somebody you know, used to be Annika Rice's personal sound man. The ninja, he used to dress in the black suit. He was the ninja in the background in a lot of the shots.
All those guys with the robot car look like ninjas, didn't they, the other day?
They did rather, yeah. It was, I was impressed by it. It's just forget that the moment you say, well, it's not competing with us in any way, and it never will, and it exists for other reasons, really. And then you begin to revel in the technology, don't you?
That's certainly an interesting project,
Yeah.
When you look around the car and look at the cameras and the sensors all over it, the GPS system on it. Yeah, fantastic, yeah.
But the moment when the driver, you knew he was going to get out, you got those coloured lights that tell you the status of the car on that little sort of tower thing over the windscreen. And somebody said, why has it got a windscreen? It's got a driver in it temporarily. And you saw him undo the wheel, he got out, and he put the steering wheel back on, which we thought was unnecessary, but you can't have it flying around in the cockpit, can you? No. It's got to be attached to something, and if it doesn't make there's a circuit on that to prevent it moving off with the steering wheel off, and he just slammed the door and walked away in a very nonchalant fashion, and then 10 seconds later the light went solid red, and off she went. They did have a few incidents. Somebody got some still shots. I don't know who took them of it clipping the bank at crossing and throwing up all that red dirt.
They did 2 runs the day I was there. Well,
yeah.
I was only there for an hour and a half or something like that. They did 2 runs with a driver in there, sat not driving, and it was going at about, I would say, 20, 25 mile an hour perhaps. But this is like the first day they were there, first full day. Tuesday. They got there late on.
Yeah, they had to do setup on Monday.
Yep. Yeah. They got some kit.
They had, hadn't they? And the caterers put on lunch for them, but they had all their own tea and coffee and everything. They were quite self-sufficient.
Yeah. Goodness knows where it all costs.
Yeah, I have an inkling actually, but it's a lot of money. Yeah. But they're back. I can't quite work out how the financing works. But the one guy that was there, and nobody was wearing a suit. He was the finance man, so I couldn't quite work out if it's money from abroad. But it's all out of the private sector. None of it's public funding. We're not paying for it. It's all raised separately.
Got a bit of an electrical storm going on somewhere, Eddie.
Sorry?
There's a bit of an electrical storm.
Yeah, I couldn't see it because I'm told that there was quite an electrical storm behind me. So at my back, which is to the east, isn't it?
Yeah, if I look out of the commentary box through the door, I've just seen something great big flash of. I can hear the thunder.
Yeah, I can hear it rumbling now. Yeah.
So I'm really happy to be sat on top of the hill. Short straw, yeah.
Well, I think if it's going to hit anything, it'll be that wind turbine away half a mile to your left.
Yep.
That's really going to, it's got a magnetic field on it as well. That has, so it's going to stick to that, and they do. They get hit. I don't know if you've seen that movie of one that got hit.
No.
In France, I think it is, and the whole thing falls apart, and the blades come flying off with sparks, and it was all because you don't see the lightning strike, but it had just been hit by lightning, and the guy then turned the camera on it. That's quite a regular occurrence. Having a strong magnetic field. It was we'll go and hit you first, shall we?
Had a lady killed on Ben Nevis yesterday, struck by lightning.
Oh my lord, yeah. Well, not the best time of day to be out there, really. I think we're probably going to give it a short while. The normal, as I've seen before, is that they give it a while to see if it drops away, the rain, before we make a decision. Well, we've now got standing water in some small patches, so it's really glistening properly and running down the hill. At least Loton drains fairly well, unlike Thurston Down, where it just comes down from down the hill from the finish, around Ashes, and then you get a wall of water going across that strait between Carousel and Ashes. They've lost a few meetings over the years.
The wettest part that I can see up here is the exit of Fallow.
Yeah.
That looks pretty.
Yeah, there's a slight hollow there, isn't there?
Yeah, it looks pretty nasty, that does.
When it's running downhill from Fletcher's.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it runs off. There is a bit of a stream under the track in a culvert, isn't there? Between the old pond, which is now pretty much dry, and the other pond, which does have water in. So a couple of years ago, that was bone dry, wasn't it, the pond?
Yeah, totally, yeah.
And for those who've not been before. Motorsport's not as much joy when it rains.
No, from a photographer's perspective, it's a bit of a double-edged sword, because you do get great photos in the rain. The downside of it is that you're getting wet. You've got all sorts of stuff wrapped around your cameras.
I tell you what, we are about to begin the runoff.
Well, hey.
So I was holding off giving you the runners and riders because I didn't know when it would start, but we'll do it now. So First to go, 134 Mark Coley, followed by 116 Joshua Moss. You find a grid in your program where you can write this in. Here's Mark Coley now, then Kelvin Broad, then Bill Chaplin. We'll cover the rest of it as we go on. Bernie Kevill, Simon Moyes, Chris Aspinall, John Chalmers. You probably don't want to write in your program in the wet anyway, because it's just going to get soaking. Then Matt Ryder. Then the last three to run will be Jonathan Varley, Dave Warburton, Robert Kenrick. Right, so Mark Coley away from the start line did a 49.06 to qualify. It's going to be well away from that time. In fact, almost 3.5 seconds to the 64-foot board, 3.37. We don't have any dual drivers in this runoff, so it's just a straight bang, bang, bang. Oh, look at the spray coming off. I hope somebody's taking pictures of that. Absolute torrents of rising spray from the wheels of Mark Coley's car. It's quite spectacular, but it's almost too fast. Josh Moss on the start line, qualified on a 49-seconder.
Right, I can hear Mark Coley approaching. Yeah, spray piling off the car. He's brake down hard, coming into Fallow, taking it quite wide. Into Museum, taking it steadily as you would expect, and accelerates forward. Plumes of water coming off, crosses the finish line. Time of 64.67 seconds.
Nearly half as slow as his qualification time.
Yeah, crazy.
Again, yeah. And away from the start line goes Josh Moss in the Dallara. Andy Coley has set the marker time for everybody else. I did wonder if we might delay it until about 3:30 just to see if it slackens, but because it's bright in various places. Here comes Josh now. Those plumes of spray again. Maybe not quite as spectacular as Mark Coley's, but spectacular nevertheless. On the start line is number 125 Calvin Holding at Ford, qualified on a 48.98. Josh Moss was a 49-second dead qualifier.
Yeah, I've got him, he's arrived. Braking now. Some spray coming off. Comes out of, through that very wet patch coming out of Fallow, and heads his mate round Museum, and puts the power down as much as you can in these conditions, and heads for the line on a 62.45.
Good time given the conditions, I would say. It's going to be interesting to see what transpires as we get it through the rest of the runoff. Calvin Broad drops his visor, trying to keep the water off his visor using his glove as a squeegee.
This is far from ideal, isn't it?
Yeah. And away from the start line goes Calvin Broad. 2.84 away from the start. Well, Josh Moss did a 2.73, so that car really did grip and go in these rotten conditions. Now, next up will be Bill Chaplin. In a few years since we've seen Bill Chaplin in a run-up, can't even think when it was. Probably a Midland Championship round 10 or 12 years ago, I would think. So Calvin Broad coming up towards you.
I can hear him, can't see him yet. Here he comes.
Not as quick as Josh Moss, the logheads, by the way.
No, here he comes in to follow. Takes it steady through that patch of extreme wet. Heads out of Museum and accelerates away. Plenty of spray coming off the car and crosses the finish line. 61.43.
A very creditable time.
Yep.
Puts him into the lead. Next along will be Bill Chaplin. Come on, Bill, here he comes. Interesting to find out later why Zach Samet pulled up, because you're fearing that it might be something terminal, but there's Bill on the start line. The orange car glistening beautifully in the wet. It really does set an orange car off well, doesn't it, the glistening surface. Bill's away from the start line now, 3.08. Not the slowest time away from the start line, but 3 seconds is a long old time in hill climbing terms. Whereas they try to keep it around the 2.1 maximum normally in the dry.
Bill's coming his way up to straight.
Yeah, you can see the aero package working on the back end of that car in these wet conditions. You know, you can see the airflow out from the tunnel and to the rear.
I can hear it, but I'm still not seeing it. Here he comes.
They did a 48.9 to qualify, but it's academic given what's going on out there.
Yeah. Heads up towards museum. Squeezes the power on and goes past my commentary box and heads towards the finish line. Crosses the line, 62.30.
Well, puts him second, so he's going to score some points here. He's going to score at least 1 point. No matter what happens, even if everybody, some of the others don't finish, then he may do even better than that.
These are hard-earned points today, isn't it?
Yeah, they are, aren't they? Yeah, we didn't expect this earlier on. Only a couple of hours ago, it was looking lovely, and here we are. So Bernie Kevil, away from the start, did a 48.33 to qualify, brings the OMS V8 down towards us, trailing even more spray, I'd say, than some of the others were. They've got some decent tyres on it, I think. Look at that plume coming out from the tray of the car. And he heads towards you. They're all around the 16.5 seconds for loggerheads.
Here he comes, heads into fallow, brakes hard, squeezes it out. Plenty of spray coming off this. Engine stuttering away. And he heads up towards the line and crosses the line. Time for Bernie, 62.50.
Yeah, 4th place, 62.5.
Pretty good for somebody driving a car they've
Yeah.
just got hold of, really.
Yeah, yes, and in,
Probably the first time he's driven it.
I don't think he's driven it in conditions quite like this.
No.
Maybe in some dampness, but right, here comes Simon Moyes, a very, very experienced driver. We've not seen much of him. This school's been a bit troublesome since he had it 5 years ago. Not always the most reliable thing on the planet. Does a 2.74 away from the start, so he's there with the rest of them. He is an exceptionally experienced driver. Drove Locator Fields, then the Mallet for many, many years before they acquired this particular car.
Who owned this car before it?
No, it was brand new to him. Yeah, brand new. Built for them. One of the first 3 of the GR59s. The other one being the Formula E prototype, of course.
Right, here he comes. Heads down, brakes into fallow, eases it through, squeezes the power on, and brakes gently into museum, and then he's away. He's heading up towards the line, safely over the line, 65.19.
Slowest so far, sadly. I think that car may be a bit tricky in the wet because the supercharge power comes on like a switch. Unlike a turbocharger where you get that delay, it's sort of a rising rate with the more throttle you get, the more boost pressure you get.
Yeah,
instantly.
Looks a handful.
Yeah, I think it probably is. Right, on the start line is John Chalmers, so no appearance from Chris Aspinall. And that was the guy I was talking about. Don't blame him. So that is a point for Mark Coley.
2.73, 64.
Yeah.
John Chalmers.
Yeah, not bad at all. This must be a handful too because the turbocharging will kick in all of a sudden. Does suit the car, however. Lots of noise from the exhaust system. Unburnt fuel going off like a gunshot. And Oh, he was quick to keep us, 34.88, a couple of seconds quicker than anybody else so far.
Yeah, pretty impressive time that. Yeah, here he comes, he's gone through Fallow. Takes the power off going through Museum and then puts it back on again as he exits. Big bang as he goes past. And he crosses the line. Time 60.18.
Wow, stunning time.
Yep, fastest yet.
That really is. That's going to take some beating by even all the super skilled guys who are to follow. So Chris Aspinall is a DNS, did not start. And here comes Matt Ryder. Did a 47.05 in qualifying. Gets the signal, he's okay to go, drops his visor. Trying to sort the water out on his hands and on the steering wheel. Revs rise. And he's away. Matt Ryder does a 3.2, so slower than some of the others. In fact, it's the 7th slowest, that one. Interesting to see. But he's up there with them at loggerheads in terms of the time. 16.5 second mark. 68 miles an hour coming down towards us, which is up there with the others. 24.5 seconds triangle. Keepers in a 34.7, which is in there with all the others. A bit slower than a couple of them. And he'll be with you.
Here he comes. Here comes Matt. Breaks through. Goes through Fallow and takes the throttle off. Heads into Museum. And yeah, the Empire goes past, plenty of spray coming off that, and he crosses the finish line. Time for Matthew.
Wow.
Yeah, 59.50.
Wow, where did that come from? Top job. You could hear the murmur of appreciation from his mother and a few others in the crowd. You've bred a proper one there, haven't you? Eh?
Great time.
Yeah, that is. Loads of the family all down there. That came out of nowhere because he was really quite slow away from the line, and he just picked up speed all the way through.
Sandbagging Eddie.
Yes, yes. Well, especially, well, he was, by the time he got to Museum, he was quick.
Yeah.
Top job. Right, Jonathan Varley away from the start line, just Jonathan, Dave Wolverton and Robert Kenrick yet to go. Oh, quick! Oh, that was 2.59 away from the start. Is very good for Jonathan. Only Bernie Kevell was quicker away from the start. And here he comes. Very, very experienced driver. Learned so much driving that march over the years. The car weaving around on the way into Triangle Bend, absolutely on the limits of front end traction, I would say. Back drifting. Key now 33.78. Almost a second quicker than Matt Ryder to keep us.
And here he comes. This is the man who picked up handfuls of trophies at last year's Midlands Awards. Here he comes. Into Museum. No problems. Squeezes the power on and he heads towards the line and he crosses the line. 58.92.
Straight into the lead.
That's exceptional.
Yeah, yeah. So come on, Warby. You are next. Rolls the car into the start line. Chock's going to go in behind the back wheel right now. Visor is already down. Everybody's got the head tilted forward to try and stop the moisture getting onto the visor.
The rain's stopped a lot actually.
It has, hasn't it?
It's raining a little bit. The visibility is appalling when you look across, but
yeah.
I think the damage has probably been done regarding the track.
It has, and it's suddenly gone very bright, considering the amount of water. 285 away from the start. Better than Matt Ryder, not quite as good as Jonathan Farley. See what he can do when he gets to loggerheads. No, something's gone wrong. Sorry, red flags. So failed run coming up for Dave Warburton, sadly. Marshall's walking back up the track. Our Marshall's going down to open the gate, so it's clearly going to be able to roll if that's the case. So no sign of fail on the screen, but that's what I'm going to write in, which is very, very sad. So, well, would you believe it? That means that's a point for Simon Moyes, because Dave Warburton failed and Chris Aspinall failed to start. One non-starter, one non-finisher, and just Robert Kenrick to come.
Which should be interesting.
It should be, shouldn't it? Yeah. So Matt Ryder sitting second at the moment after that stunning run.
Robert's not running these off at 2.
Right, so here's the news. Dave Warburton off at 2. Robert Kenrick is not going to run. Discretion being the better part of valor. He'd rather take the car home in one piece. So the win goes to Jonathan Varley. 58.92. Absolute stunning run given the conditions. All the old experience comes to the fore at the right moment, yet the lesser experienced Matt Ryder finishes second with a 59.5. Third place John Chalmers, 60.18. There's your top three. To be followed in fourth by Calvin Broad, 61.43. Bill Chaplin, well, he'll be overjoyed at a fifth place, 62.3. He's going to be loving that. Sixth place Josh Moss, 62.45. Seventh, Bernie Kevell, 62.5. Mark Coley in eighth place, 64.67. Ninth, and the last scorer, 65.19, is Simon Moyes. So he gets a couple of points and a fail for Dave Warburton, who's now sadly coasting back to the paddock. That did not start from Chris Aspinall and Robert Kenrick. Well, there you are, folks. So Robert Kenrick doesn't add to his score, but he's won his class both morning and afternoon in the 1100 class, so he's well on his way towards another Midland title, providing the rest of the year goes to the same standard as the beginning. So he won't be too upset to finish fourth in the top 10, to maintain his position in the top 10 challenge, with the three above him, of course, actually not being here this weekend. So nothing changes there. So we will be having a prize giving. Fortunately, then it looks as if we might even do that in the dry, Jeff.
Looks as though it might be. There's some black sky around, but it is actually eased off, isn't it?
Let's just say a little prayer and hope that we do get the dry awards ceremony in about 20 minutes time, thereabouts, and we can all get off back home. I'm sure it was great fun. The side tray of Dave Warburton's car covered in grass, predictably, so he's had a fly-mo moment, as Wilco would call it.
Okay, right.
So that's it, yes, that's us done for another Loton Park meeting. We'll be back in the not too distant future, and just flick open the calendar and tell you when that will be. It is quite soon. Just give me a couple of secs, folks. I'll get there eventually. Fingers are cold. Right, here we go. Oh, it's not till towards the end of July. I won't be here for that one. I'll be on Guernsey, would you believe, on the 20th of July. Oh, how sad. 20th and 21st of July, 2 national bee meetings, invited clubs and championships, something that we specialise in here. We have more national bee meetings than anybody else on the hills, and we'll do it again in August, and again in August, and then the British finale at the end of September. 20th and 21st of July, your next dates here at Loton Park. We do look forward to seeing you then. You hope you enjoyed it. We congratulate Jonathan Varley on a terrific win, Matt Ryder on his terrific second, and family member John Chalmers on 60.18 in third place. So thank you very much. See you again as soon as we can. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.